A few years ago, I broke into my own house. It was around midnight in the dead of Montreal winter. It was very cold. I found I didn't have my keys. In fact, I could see them through the window, lying on the dining room table where I had left them. Thought about calling a locksmith, and at midnight, it could take a while for a locksmith to show up. And I had an early flight to Europe the next morning, and I needed to get my passport in my suitcase. So, desperate and freezing cold, I found a large rock, and I broke through the basement window, cleared out the shards of glass. I crawled through. I could call my contractor and ask him to fix it. Now, I'm a neuroscientist by training, and I know a little bit about how the brain performs under stress. It releases cortisol, that raises your heart rate, it modulates adrenaline levels, and it clouds your thinking. So the next morning, when I woke up on too little sleep, worrying about the hole in the window and the mental note that I had to call my contractor and the freezing temperatures and the meetings I had upcoming in Europe. And, with all the cortisol in my brain, my thinking was cloudy until I got to the airport check-in counter that I realized I didn't have my passport. So I raced home in the snow and ice, 40 minutes, got my passport, raced back to the airport. I made it just in time, but they had given away my seat to someone else, so I got stuck in the back of the plane next to the bathrooms. I started wondering, are there things that I can do, systems that I can put into place that'll prevent bad things from happening? Well, in the pre-mortem, you look ahead and you try to figure out all the things that could go wrong, and then you try to figure out what you can do to prevent those things from happening or to minimize the damage. Around the home, designate a place for things that are easily lost, based on the way our spatial memory works. There's a structure in the brain called the hippocampus that evolved over tens of thousands of years to keep track of the locations of important things. If you designate a spot and you're scrupulous about it, your things will always be there when you look for them. What about travel? Take a cell phone picture of your credit cards, your driver's license, your passport. Mail it to yourself so it's in the cloud. Remember, when you're under stress, the brain releases cortisol. Cortisol is toxic, and it causes cloudy thinking. The idea of the pre-mortem is to think ahead of time to the questions that you might be able to ask that will push the conversation forward. I think the important point here is recognizing that all of us are flawed. We all are going to fail now and then. The idea is to think ahead to what those failures might be, to put systems in place that will help minimize the damage or to prevent the bad things from happening in the first place. I see organization as a gradual process, and I'm getting there.